Alright, so now we're going to add the control objects to our joints. And so there are a few tools inside the Comet tools, which we've been using. And so I just need to actually source my Comet tools, Comet menu. Alright, so looks like I may need to just run this real quickly. Alright, so I got my Comet tools, and one thing I do also want to add in this file is the joints in its own layer. So if you hold down Shift and hit the plus sign, you'll get everything open. So just actually you can select the root, and then you can also say select hierarchy, and then that'll grab all the joints down the chain. And then that way all of our joints are selected, and we'll go to this icon to the far right and say create a new layer and assign those objects. So with that, we'll just go to this new layer, double click on this, and you'll get a new layer, and we'll just call this joints and save. And if you want to name, if you want to color that layer, you can. It just turns everything that's that color to whatever color that is. So I usually like to just leave mine at default. So with that, we can see that. We can turn off the mesh if we want, which I'm going to do right for a second. Okay, so what we're going to want to do here is, so for the first little section here, the roots and the hip, and we also want to select all the left leg FK and the right leg FK. So I'm just control selecting the top. So if you select, okay, let's start this over. So I'm selecting the roots and the hips by just holding control, and we can go down to the FK, and I'm holding control, and then I hold down shift, and then just select all the way down to the FK, and then back to control, and then hold down control shift, and then we'll get that. And then down here we can also select the spine, spine 02, the chest, neck, head, and we'll work on the facial structure in a little bit. Okay, and then this one we want to grab the left clavicle, and then we also want to grab the all the fingers. So left pinky all the way down to left thumb 03, and then all the FK. So it's just control and then control shift. And so we want the right clavicle and then all the fingers, and then the right arm FK. Okay, so from here we can actually go to Comet Shapes, and we can say, I believe if we go circle Y, let's see what we get here. So now we have, so circle Y is not what I want. So I'm actually going to Control Z that, and then, so sometimes it's almost better to go and do this in pieces. So let's start with the roots and hips. The root and the hips. Okay, so just those two selected, and we go to Comet, Shapes, and circle, nope, not circle X. This is going to be circle Y. Okay, so with circle Y, so with these two, that they're actually live right now, they're selected. So you can see them both are selected. So if you hit F8, okay, that'll put us in component mode. And so this is where we want to actually scale these objects, okay? So if you just select those and then you go to R to scale, and then actually we want to scale. So if you hold down R and left mouse drag, we want to go component mode, okay? So this is going to scale at the component level. So now if we middle mouse drag, okay, it's going to actually scale, whoops, all on, it's going to just scale on all that. Okay, so if we bring our mesh back, I'm just scaling that guy out. Okay, so with that, actually I'm going to leave the hips object. I usually like to use that circle for the hips, so I'll just name this hips underscore CTRL for hips control. For this one, I'm actually going to delete this one, which is the root. And for the root, I actually like to use the plus. So shapes, and I believe it's the cross. And if you F8 and then scale, and just select that, and then just scale that up, and this just gives us a nice, like plus. I guess the comment calls it the cross. So we have our hips, okay, and so from here we will go to the left leg FK, okay, and to see that, so we can just frame that with F, and we can go to Comet, Shapes, Circle Y. Nope, not Circle Y. We want Circle X. Yes, Circle X. Okay, with Circle X, so this is all the FK controllers. So I'm just hitting F8 and selecting all those guys and hitting R. That puts me in component mode. And from here we can just middle mouse drag and just make those bigger and turn on the mesh just so we can see how we're getting that. Okay, so this one I actually want to adjust the ankle. Okay, so with the ankle, if you hold down Q and then left mouse button, you'll get all these different selections. Okay, so I'm gonna just pick the lasso and then just go and select around the ankle area, and then here you can actually select that ankle, and I like to just put it more around the ankle, and you can actually, so I'm actually going to make this world and just move it up into place so that looks proper. Actually, the thing I want to do here is actually delete. I'm going to delete those objects, and so here I'm going to actually work left and right FK. So I'll select all the left leg FK and the right leg FK. Okay, and then so with the left and right leg FK, go back to Comet Shapes, Circle X, and then hit F8 and select them all, hit R for scale, and then just going to bump these up. And then I will go to my lasso, and that's just Q and left mouse drag, and then select these and then rotate them, and also move by hitting the W key. And I am in world, so to change from world to local, if you hold down W and then left mouse, and then you get all these. So you get object space, world space, component, however you want to, and then you also can go to your move options if you really want to break it down. So with this, I'm just actually creating FK controllers. These guys, I probably will move back and scale also just a little bit, and the knee. And then these leg ones, I will scale them up pretty good just so I can see them from this. So if I want to animate them, I can actually get to them still. So, alright, so with that, I do want to make sure that I'm naming these guys. So from here, we have our hips. The cross we want to name root underscore CTRL, and then here we're going to go, I'm just going to actually do a quick, so leg and knee, and here we'll name ankle, and this will be ball, and this one will be toe. Okay, so from this I'm going to just select the leg, hold down shift down to the toe, and actually go to tools, comment rename, and from here I'm actually going to prefix this with left, and the suffix is going to be control underscore control. Okay, CTRL. So add prefix and suffix, and then here I'm going to name this leg, same thing that we just did. So knee, ankle, ball, and toe. Okay, so then we'll select the leg down to the toe. This time we're going to change left to right. So add prefix and suffix. So now we have hips, root, and all of our leg FK controls. Actually, for these guys, we're going to actually name this FK. Okay, so what we can do here is search for underscore CTRL, and then we're going to replace it with FK underscore control. So now when it looks for underscore control, it's going to take that and rename it to FK underscore control. So now I have left leg FK underscore control, and etc. down the line. Okay, that little rename tool is a great little tool. So for this, let's do the fingers. So actually, let's do the spine. So spine 0, spine 2, and the chest, neck, and head. And so from those ones, I will just hide the mesh, and from here I'm going to add comet, shapes, circle Y. Whoops, not circle Y, circle X. This one sometimes it's a good thing about Control Z, undo. Then we can just go back and redo if we do mess up. So this, I'm just going to go through and name these real quickly. So this one's going to be spine 01. This one's going to be spine 02. This one will be chest. Oops, chest. And this one will be neck and head. And I'll grab these guys, go to comment tools, rename, and add the prefix of underscore control. So there we go. Have those controls. Actually, I'm going to just move this guy over a little bit. I may be using those renames again. So if I hit F8, and then I'm going to scale, and also turn on the mesh. So with the head, actually for the head, I will probably use a different controller. Actually, I'll probably go, well, let's adjust these. So actually I'm going to grab the head controller and delete that. And so the spine and chest, I'm actually going to scale those guys up. Whoops, I want to be in component mode. So just make sure you're in component mode when you do this. That way it doesn't mess up. Alright, so with the chest, so I'm going to do this separate, so just the chest alone, so we'll hit F8 and we can select that, and I'll probably just bring that like so, and then this one, can select that guy, oops, so F8, select all, and then I'm just rotating just a little bit and then scaling, actually just hitting R and scale that down a little bit. And this one, so F8 twice and selecting, rotating just a little bit more into place like so. Alright, so F8 on that. Alright, so for the head, when we grab that head bone, so the head bone, let's see here. Okay, with the head bone, we can go to Comet, and we will do a square, or cube actually. Cube, and then we'll F8 and then select it and scale that guy up. Let's see, I'm going to go and turn off the mesh, and from here I actually do want to just scale at the object, and so here, and I'll go to a right view, select these top two, turn on my mesh, and here I'm just actually going like so, hitting 4, and I'll grab these front two and bring them so like here, and I'm grabbing the top, and I'm just in component mode right now. So, and I'm just middle mouse dragging there, or just come in like this, just place it how you want, and then I'll go to a front view, and so from here I'll grab all and then just scale in Z, and then just grab the top and scale in Z. It's just kind of a little bit better representation. So when I select that controller, just like so. Alright, and then so I just want to make sure that I name this as well, so head underscore control. Alright, so for the, let's do the hands now. So we will grab the left hand and then all the way down to the fingers. So left hand, all the fingers, and we will go right hand and all the fingers. Oops, so left hand, shift all the way down to the fingers, and then right hand, control, shift, down to the thumb, and from here we'll go to shapes, and I believe let's try circle X. Okay, and then I'm going to actually turn off the mesh, and that looks like it was correct. So now we can go F8 and select all those guys on the left and the right hand side, and we can turn our mesh back on and hit R. Whoops. Oh, we want to make sure that we're in component mode. Again, to do component mode, you just hold down R and then left mouse, and then you get the marking menu, and then make sure you just pick component, and then from here We can scale all those guys up. And so now we have all of our controls on our fingers. For the hand, well, actually the hand looks okay. I am going to just F8 out of that, which puts us back in object mode, and then I'm going to just select the hand controls and then hit F8 again, and then just left mouse drag, and then now I can just scale those up a little bit. And then I also want to scale the thumb as well, so actually just F8 to object mode, and then now I can select my thumb control object. So thumb, the top one is what I'm looking for. So if you select something else, you just Control Z, and then you'll get those objects. So F8, then you can scale those up. So those will be, and I'll probably move them so in world space and move them in Z just a touch. And also, actually I want the rotation to be, actually I'm not scale, I want rotation component. There we go. So now when we rotate, we want to rotate in X, which is not looking like it's doing that right. So component rotate object center. Oops. Hitting R instead. That's not what I want. Is it discrete rotate? Discrete rotate is a snap. So I'm going to turn that off. And let's go object. Let's see here. Actually, I'm going to go to rotate options, reset tool, and then from here I will switch to component, and that should give me the right, but that's not. So let's see. Just want to make sure those rotations are, they are the same. That's interesting. Okay, so from here, this is just some renaming that we have to do. So actually I'm going to collapse this. Actually close the tab. Okay, so from here we'll grab, so this is going to be our left hand. So left hand, so name this left. Actually we'll just name this hand. Okay, then this is going to be pinky 1, 0, 2, and 3, so let's grab this and we'll rename this pinky. And we'll go 2 with the padding, so rename. And then this will be 1, 2, 3 for middle. So name this middle. Rename a number. This is going to be pointer. Pointer. And this one is going to be thumb. 1, 2, 3. So thumb. rename a number, and then from here we'll grab hand all the way down to the thumb, and we'll prefix this with left. And so add prefix, add suffix. So now we have left hand control and all of our control objects on our fingers. Okay, and for the top is going to be right hand, so we'll just name it hand. Then this is going to be pinky 1, 2, 3. So we'll name, actually, yes, that's okay. So pinky, rename, this is going to be our middle, and rename, this is going to be our pointer, rename that guy, and then this will be thumb. So thumb, rename a number. And we'll go back to the hand, shift select down to the thumb, change out this left to the right, prefix and suffix. Okay, so we have those objects all assigned. Okay, so we do want to add, let's see, our FK, yes, let's see here. Thinking about this here for a second. So actually if we go to our right clavicle and left clavicle, and from here I'm going to turn off my mesh and go to Comet, Shapes, and name these, grab the circle X and F8, select and scale. And from here I'm actually going to scale in world. Actually not scale in world. Don't want to scale in world. I do want to scale in component mode. Actually, I'm going to scale options, reset the tool, and then go back to component. Alright, and then turn on my mesh so I can actually see. Scale those guys up. And then I'm going to hit W to move. Okay. And from here, I'm going to scale scale object center, world. So this actually, in X, if I drag towards the middle, it straightens them out. Okay, so from here if I hit 4, you can actually now grab these bottom ones and actually create a shape that's like so. Okay, and then from here, if we actually select these and we can move them now over the clavicles, and from here, so just basically eyeballing. It's more of a selection set. I mean, you can get them to scale exactly how you want. So from here, now we have our clavicle selections. So from we'll grab these two, and so from here, this one's the right, so I'll call this right, clav underscore control, and here left clav underscore control. Okay, then from the FK, actually we want to go to our joints, and FK, FK, right arm FK and right elbow FK, and left arm FK, left elbow FK. And if you go to Comet, Shapes, Circle X, and we'll just see that those were created properly, and we hit F8 and scale. Actually, I just undid that. So now I should, yes, just left arm and right arm. So I'll go Comet, Shapes, Circle X, and I'll hit R and go to Component, and then that, whoops, we want to be in component mode, and scale those up, and I'll hit 6, and I will select these elbow controllers, elbows, and scale them down just a little bit, and F8. And so I want to name these properly. So here we will go with arm, elbow, and also we'll actually just name this arm and elbow as well. This will make it easy to fix these. So Comet, actually turn off, close that, Comet Tools, Comet Rename, and here I'm going to add right for the prefix and FK underscore control as the suffix, and from here I'll grab these two and just name left, whoops, and so prefix add suffix, search 1 and replace with 0 or nothing, which basically gives us that. Okay, and let's see, what else do we want to do here? We actually want to add a IK controller. Okay, so for IK control, we want to grab the right hand IK and the left hand IK bones, and from here we'll go Comet, Shapes, and here we will use a cross again and hit F8 selection and scale these guys up, and here we can actually go to R and we will not scale, my bad, so hit E on the keyboard and go to, that should be right, and so I want to go to turn that off. Actually, I may need to reset this rotation. So reset the tool. Reset. And then here, so my rotate center, I want to be from the object. Okay, so now, actually, and then if you hold down J, that will rotate, or that'll basically snap. And then you can go to R and scale down. So this will be our IK controller. So F8, get out of that to control mode. And then here, we'll just rename these. So right hand IK underscore control. And we'll just grab this one, copy, and then paste, and then we'll just change the right to left. There we go.